Did I think that team-based learning helped me with clinical pathology? Yes. My first impression of it was poor. My first day of class, and we come in and Dr. Bender says, okay, this is what we're going to do, I'm like, oh man. Because my previous experience with team-based activities was always, I carried the weight and other people slacked off. So I originally had the misimpression that it was going to be more work for me and my classmates were going to be slacking. And that's not the way it was set up. We had the opportunity to evaluate our peers, and we could do it in such a way that they didn't know where it came from. It was anonymous, so there were no repercussions. Everybody knew they had to toe the line, and everybody did. And it got to the point where with the team-based learning, I would be focused on one train of thought, and at times it was wrong, totally wrong. And I just could not wrap my mind around a certain concept. And then somebody else in my group would say, well, what about this? And it was like a door opened, and I'm like, oh, thank you. Because they were able to phrase it in such a way that Dr. Bender wasn't, that the book wasn't, that my brain wasn't getting, that suddenly just opened up the door, and I could grasp it. And it made class interesting. Instead of sitting there for an hour, listening to a professor drone on, and just waiting for class to be up, or waiting for lunch, or thinking, when I get out of here, I have to go grocery shopping. Where was I going again? What was going to be on that list? You were interacting with people. It was dynamic. You were bouncing ideas and thoughts off of them. And when we were working through cases, oftentimes there would be arguments. And most people are like, oh, arguments, bad thing. We weren't fighting. We were discussing. Sometimes very vehemently. We had our opinions. But we had to defend why we thought that way. And it would either strengthen your stance or show the flaws. And we needed to do that. We needed to get rid of the flaws when we were putting down that base work. It made it so much easier for other coursework that came afterwards because we had a strong foundation. And honestly, a lot of that came out of the teamwork because they were able to teach me things that professors couldn't. And I like to think that I helped teach them things that they weren't understanding. We were able to basically convert it to English for each other, which is a wonderful thing in medicine in general.
My first impressions of team-based learning, I thought was, this is a bunch of, wasted time. It's hokey-pokey stuff. I mean, I didn't tell Dr. Bender this, but I thought, oh, come on, Then I saw that, hey, not every, I thought, you're not going to get a free ride here, People are going to have to work together. And it's people that, you never thought you were going to have to, you didn't really want to work with, You're kind of forced to because the way they set up the groups. And you find out that, because you had to work together, part of your course grade was this. And it was a significant amount. And that was voted on by the class also. It wasn't forced upon us. We came up with the deciding percentage of what the group grade would come out to be. And all in all, people were generally pleased with it. And I don't know, it was funny because some people at the very beginning thought that there's no way they can work with these people. And it turned out people were surprised how well they were getting along with each person.
At first a lot of us were really scared. Most of us have been kind of introverted people who, kind of stuck it out on their own, very competitive with each other. And we tried to put that behind us when we started vet school, but the majority of us were still thinking, I need to get an A and do better than, Bob sitting next to me. So when we got together and had to work together, a lot of us were like, ooh, I don't know if I can trust you. We have to get a grade all together. It's kind of scary. But then after a little while, you learn that that's not bad. And you really started learning off each other. Because when you had a disagreement about something, it turned into you explaining your sides. And even if you were wrong, you learned a lot from discussing. And I really liked that. Discussing amongst your peers was probably like the second best thing next to Diagnostic Pathfinder in that class.
Team-based learning, to me, is active learning.